All right.
So
So
say got it.
Yep. And so the first thing, you know, after you've sanded the two panels down, and remember too, like I like to actually sand the surface of the photograph because I like to use the sandpaper on the actual photograph.
I don't know what you mean. Can you repeat that?
I like to use the sandpaper on the actual photograph.
Oh.
So especially for the black and white, like if there's light areas, I tend to make them lighter, like the window area. I would make them like totally blown out.
These.
Yeah. And I don't love the horizontal lines of the window, of the door. Right. So I would get rid of them. Okay. So that was just more about her. I don't mind the door frame, but the horizontal lines, I would probably just sand them off.
Okay. But you sand it off now?
Yeah, before I put the wax on.
Okay.
Yeah. And also like if you have a picture that's like really dark or is on the darker side, you can actually make it lighter. You can lighten the photograph by using the sandpaper, because what the sandpaper is doing is actually removing the ink. Yes. It's actually removing the ink.
The paper. And some of the white actually got dirty from my hands.
Good. Good. I mean, I actually like that.
Yeah.
I do. I don't think it should be pristine or perfect. I think it should have texture and marks on it. I think it's makes it more interesting.
Does it need to be completely off?
No, just make it lighter than it is. No, nothing has to be, no, don't feel pressured. Yeah, better. Nice, beautiful, perfect. Beautiful. I mean, and if you wanted to totally get rid of the door frame, how would you do it? You would paint it with encaustic gesso.
Okay.
So if you wanted to have her like she was out.
Yeah, because it's distracting those.
The hard, dark black frame. So you could have gone at it another way too, where you cut her out of that actual room, but you didn't. So you can do the same thing. You can do it either way. You can either cut her out.
Tell me, because now I can think next time.
Right. These are just decisions, right? They're decisions. Right. So they're artist decisions. And the more you become confident with them and the more you understand them, you'll just run them through your head as you start.
Or I print them.
Do I want it like this or do I want it like this? And do I want her in the room or out of the room?
Yeah. So now, like when you mentioned like women and flowers again, which is what I love to do. Should I, on some of the people, put flowers?
Yeah, I can show you. I'll show you. I'm working a lot on my collages. I actually put the flowers in the collage before I start waxing, but there's a bunch of opportunities to put the flowers in. So just paint over, and this doesn't have to be, don't be exact about it. You're basically just working hard to get rid of that strong black frame around her. Yes. That's like your primary focus.
How about the bottom part too? Should I get rid of that?
Yeah, I would get rid of the windowsill, but not the rug. Because the rug creates a horizon line, right? That's the ground she's standing on. So technically though, you could switch the rug to make her, like you could turn it to a field of flowers. Like you can you can convert, right? By using the encaustic,
Right.
you can basically convert the floor to anything you want. It can be ocean, it can be rocks, it could be a
Maybe
city
ocean,
street.
since I would use it. I mean, I don't know, flowers are probably easier.
She could be standing on a bed of roses.
Yeah.
Right? And if you're getting ideas, you know, write them down. Say, oh, I want to paint this blah, 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 standing on a bed of roses, right? So
this is like a fantasy class.
That's my whole thing. That's what I'm doing right now. It's fantasy.
Really?
Well, that's what I think the encaustic is. I mean, how else can you explain why you want to put wax on a photo? Like,
yes.
what other answer do you possibly have?
Yeah, you just want to play with the, yes.
It has to be to create some other environment or suggest another type of reality different than the one we're in, right? And everything about the one we're in is so literal and exact. And it's like, we want to, it's exciting to go somewhere else. It's exciting to have another surface.
Play.
Yeah.
So should I heat, dry it?
Yeah, you have to dry it. Yep, you have to dry it. But I'm glad we did this because I think you're going to like it a lot more without that heavy, without that frame. I mean, I like it. Yeah, better already. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And now it looks like it's just beautiful. I mean, and the possibilities are endless. So depending on
I'll do more touch-ups there in a little bit.
Right, but imagine all that white space. You could paint it light blue and you could put white clouds there. And then she can be standing on a red, I mean, it could be red and blue, right? Where it's like,
okay.
Right?
Or something soft. Soft is okay, but
it could be anything. She can be standing, you know, in fog.
Yeah. Okay. I was just covering more of the areas.
Okay. So you want to heat it now with the heat gun.
Okay.
Until it's totally dry.
And yeah, I want to set up something like this at the beach. So when I'm there, I can continue having
to work. Yeah.
Sessions with you.
Yeah.
So I have to get double of everything, I guess. Or I can get everything ready and then take it there.
Yeah.
The other, do you know, well, I just have to search it in Google.
Are you going to spend your time?
Like a cabinet to store all this stuff in. Oh,
a cabinet to store all this stuff in? Yeah. I like your table. Like you should just get
working table. That
I like your table with get your table. I like the table you have.
What's that?
I like your table.
Oh yeah, this is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think over there I'll just have a tiny little spot.
Well, you could get like a kitchen table. You could get like an island. You could get like a kitchen table with a shelf under it that you could, you know, like an island table, like or yeah, like an island table. It can be on wheels and it can have a shelf under it with drawers.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at kitchen stuff or restaurant stuff.
Yeah, right.
And you could probably get something used.
This is taking a while to dry.
That's okay. Let it dry. Well, you can wax the other one first.
That's what I was going to ask you. Okay, so
yeah, you can wax. Yeah, you can wax the ice one first. Yeah.
For this one. Yeah. And I have larger.
That's fine. No, that brush is good.
Okay.
That brush is great.
I have to let this.
Just let it doesn't make it go faster. Yeah, let it sit there. I know I know pushing on it, it's like watching the pot. No, it doesn't go faster. It's fine.
I'll put.
You could start to, yeah, you could do that. You could also pick the colors that you want to paint with, the paint colors.
Okay.
And then your brush should be ready. So look at your encaustics. What color are you going to paint that one?
I have a lot of colors now.
Oh, good. Maybe like green, light green, light pink, beige, or gold.
Is that for this guy?
Mm-hmm.
So, and pink and maybe some.
Oh, I like how you did all your rainbow colors in bags. That's a great idea.
They're not exactly the same color, but they're.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the whites. Yeah, I like all of those. And I like, yeah, and I like the light green and maybe a red. Yeah, the greens are pretty. Yeah.
So maybe like this.
Yeah. Remember, we're always painting from light to dark. So use the light colors first, unless you really want to.
I mean, start the light and then go to dark.
That's what I paint, light to dark. Yeah.
So basically, you're looking at this and you're trying to kind of paint what's already here.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to do a base coat of encaustic wax, and then I would add some more flowered stencils around the flowers that you already have. And then maybe there's some type of vertical, you know, the stems, maybe you're going to install, like you can either paint them on or dig them in. So they're either going to go on the wax or in the wax. So it kind of looks to me like there's flowers at the top and flowers at the bottom. Okay. And then you want some quiet space. You know, you want the ice to have an element. So the wax and the ice are very similar. So you can just use like white or light gray. You can make the ice any color. It can be blue, light blue. It could be light beige. It could be light gray.
Okay.
And then you're going to kind of just repaint the flowers in wax, and then see, you know, maybe a couple of the flowers stay photographic and just are under the wax, and then maybe a couple of them come forward. So again, it's that like what's going back, what's on the surface, what's coming forward.
That's the $1 million question, I think.
Well, it just depends on what you make. It, you know, it's up to you, and you have to allow your intuition. You know, whatever you do with the wax, that's an intuitive reaction. You have to kind of allow that, and then you could decide later to edit it. You can scrape it off. If you did put something on there that you don't like, you can just heat it up and scrape it off.
Okay.
You know, you can't be fearful. And I always say, like, add more than you think that you need, right?
So at this point, I'm just going to do the light colors, right?
All right. And remember, you have to do the base coat. So just don't even, just start with the base coat. If your brush is ready, start with the base coat and then fuse it and scrape it, and we'll see what it looks like.
It's ready. And I just go up and down.
You can do little plus signs. You can do little hashtags. Yeah, you can do long strokes. Yep. Whatever's working best. Yeah, breathe. Remember to breathe, and remember to float your elbow. Good job with the elbow. That looks good. Good position. Good body position. That looks good. Yeah. Just let the wax fall wherever it falls. Even if it drips a little bit, that's no big deal. Don't let that persuade you or distract you.
Yeah.
Don't let those drips get you down.
Okay.
Just ignore them, because we can easily get rid of them.
And it didn't get completely covered, but.
Well, keep going till you completely cover it.
Okay.
You want like 100% coverage. I sound like an insurance salesman. You want 100% coverage. Don't go anywhere uncovered.
Gotta be covered.
Fully covered. There you go. Good.
I have to see where. Oh.
So while you're painting it too, you should start to sort of feel like, oh, I really want to put a flower here, or sort of start to get attached to or interested in certain parts of it. You can take a look at your little stencil box and see, I couldn't tell what type of flowers were under there, but I don't think it matters. I mean, what stencil you put on top.
I think I'm covered, but you wouldn't, if I can't see it, you couldn't see it.
I would say just add more wherever you think that you don't have wax, but it looks pretty covered. You can try just fuse it now and see.
Okay, see what I see.
Yeah, you know what happens when you fuse? Sometimes you see the paper pop back out.
Right. Yeah.
And if you see the paper, add more wax. So a lot of times too, what I do is if I'm working on more than one piece, is I use the heat gun, I do the wax, I use the heat gun, then I switch back to the other piece and let that one sit for a minute.
Okay. I mean, I think there are places that didn't get covered completely, but overall, it's okay.
All right, so do the base coat.
It's still wet.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So weird. I think I put it on thick.
That's okay. You can let it dry. You can wipe it off with a paper towel too. You can blot it with a paper towel if you want to try to dry it.
Oh, dab it.
Yeah, you can use a paper towel and don't wipe it, but blot it, right? So you're not trying to wipe it off. You're just trying to lift the, yeah, there you go. Yep. Yep.
It leaves like a stencil effect.
Oh, I know. Actually, I talked about paper towels a lot today. What a great art tool they are. Some paper towels have really cool, the ones I had today in school, they had like really cool circles on
them. This has little dots.
Yeah, little dots, right? I love them. Do they leave a little texture in the gesso? Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool.
So should I try to cover more of the black with the?
No, I think it's fine. No, it doesn't have to be exact. It's not exact.
So I'm just going to close this up before I spill it.
That's fine. I totally get it.
You know.
I do. I totally understand. Or it falls off the edge of the table.
Yeah. Oh, no. Okay. So I love what this paper towel did. I don't know if you can
I love it too.
It.
Yeah.
It looks like lace.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, maybe you make that white area like lacy curtains or something.
Lace.
Oh, that'd be so beautiful. Lace curtains. That'd be beautiful.
So
do you think it's dry?
No, it still has some wet areas.
Okay.
This doesn't get too hot, so.
Does it have a high and a low?
What?
Does it have high and low?
It does, but the high is not.
That I would use it on high.
So let me do the paper towel some more. You see, this is something that doesn't happen with everything. That's amazing.
No, and you know what? This is where this art form, it's like sometimes you do stuff and you're like, oh wow, that's like I'm doing it because I need to do it, but then you're like, oh wait, it's beautiful.
Yeah. And it's just
it's
easy.
necessity.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
Right. It's necessity and beauty.
It's still kind of wet.
Uh-huh.
Okay, of course, you know, I did the paper towel, but now you could see the black more, but.
You know what? I think it's worth it it's up to you. You can either add more gesso and when we can just wax it next time. It's up to you, or we can just wax it.
If we wax it, then we see I prefer not to see it.
Okay, so put the gesso back on and set it aside and we'll just work on the other one today.
Should I?
And then you can do the wax medium base coat on it on your own when it's dry and then show it to me next time.
Like if I put the white wax and then do the paper towel, don't I get the same?
You can't put the paper towel in the wax. It'll stick to it. It won't. Right. It's a disaster. It's you can't get it out. It doesn't leave an imprint. It's not strong enough.
So we'll do that. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Do the gesso and then we'll work on the other one today and we'll work on that one next time I see you.
Yeah, I have plenty printed, so.
Yeah, no, make it the way you want it. Just go ahead and add the white back on it.
I think I got carried away with the paper towel.
Oh, no, that's okay. But that, you know what? Sometimes it is about that. I mean, it's about your tactile connection to things, you know? It's okay.
Finding something then.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. And you could put the paper towel texture in the gesso now again, but just don't take as much off.
Yeah. Yeah, I still see the background.
Okay, so add more.
So that's why I had added so much before. Some got on her dress.
That's okay. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
We can fix that later.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So set that one aside and let's
should I not put the paper towel?
If you want to.
Yeah.
I love it.
Gentle. Okay. I'm gonna put this.
Beautiful. That looks gorgeous.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be great. That was a great idea to keep it white around her.
I love it. All right, so let's look at some, after you close your gesso jar, let's look at some Floraly stencils.
Okay.
And maybe, now the other thing that you can do besides stencils is that you can just use the paint and you can basically use the tip of the brush to kind of make almost like an asterisk sign.
That. Yeah.
You can just you can make the petals yourself. You don't always have to rely on The stencil isn't the only way to get a floral looking pattern on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't feel trapped by the stencil. If you have a stencil that works, you can take
these are actually just like round things. They're like berries.
Right. So you can use the tip of the brush. You can use the tip of the brush to make like a depot, like a teardrop shape, you know, like this. You can use the tip of the brush to go crisscross.
Okay.
And make like a flower. You can also, you know, make, if you use the tip of the brush with the paint, you can sort of mirror the pattern of the flower without using a stencil. But I like to do both. I do both. I hand paint them.
Not the same. So this one has that crisscrossy feeling, right?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Should I decide now which ones I wanted to reveal, be it?
Yeah, yeah, you can do that, but I would do at least 3 at the top. A couple of them are like you said, like circles. Do you have a circle stencil?
I don't, maybe. I don't think so.
Okay.
So should I keep these unpainted or?
I would paint them or add some more flowers.
Okay.
Also, did you scrape it a little bit?
No, that I haven't done.
Okay, so let's make sure that
scraper you recommended, the scraper, which is for pottery, which by the way, I used to do that too. I love pottery.
Oh, you got the silver one. Oh, you're gonna love that. Good.
This, right?
Yeah, good. Yep, you're gonna love that. Oh, you did ceramics. That makes sense.
So I just scrape it all the way.
Yeah, I mean, anywhere if you want it to be smoother, I think it's good for it to be smooth before you add the paint layer.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's hard to paint on a bumpy surface.
Yeah, it's definitely bumpy.
Yeah, it's hard to paint on a bumpy surface. And if it's not smoothing out enough, you can put another layer of wax on it and then fuse it one more time. And most likely it'll get smoother.
I think I need to put wax in one area.
Okay, do it. Listen to what the piece is going to tell you.
Yeah, because the paper is almost coming off if I don't do it. This happened to me before too. I scrape it and it comes off of this and it gets attached.
Oh yeah, yeah. You have to clean the blade.
Often, yeah.
Every time you scrape, you have to clean that residue off the bottom of the blade. Or you could attach, it'll look like, yeah, it almost wants to like stick back on there.
I think I didn't put a lot of wax. The paper is coming undone. So should I put more wax?
I would, yeah.
Yeah.
You'll also turn the panel. Sometimes you have a hard time going the length. If you have a hard time going the length, so go the width, go the shorter distance. Right? And don't be afraid to just do, yep. Yep. And think more about a plus sign than like, think about a plus sign. Yes, better. I think that's easy. Just do plus signs. Yep. That works for me. Yep. Good. Do the plus sign. Yep. And don't feel like you have to go so far. Go shorter. More. Yeah, shorter. Good. More wax. You'll get, yep, better. And that's going to be better for your tremor too. You're doing a great job. Good. Shorter. Yep. Better. Yep. Nice. Shorter. Yep. Nice. Yes. Yep. And one more in the corner closest to you or closest to me. Yep. Right there. Yes. Perfect. Good. Okay, great. Perfect. Does that look better? Yes.
I think, yeah, there's more wax on it. I think I'm missing a little bit down here. Too.
Okay. So go ahead. Shorter. Yep. Shorter and a plus sign. There you go. Good. And now fuse it. And then it'll be easier. It should be easier to scrape. Remember too, if it's warm, you can scrape a little when it's warm. Just be careful because it's gentle.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's the paper that comes off so easily.
Uh-huh.
You think that
No, it's not the
rice
paper.
paper?
No, I don't think the paper's gonna come up. No, if the glue's dry, you should be good.
I felt like I was scraping the paper.
Oh, you mean, oh, but maybe you're pressing too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't press too hard.
So.
And maybe you don't want to, you don't have to thin it everywhere. Oh, I love that. Oh, that
It's
looks
like pretty
beautiful.
thick on now.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. So yeah, so play around with some air. I love it though. I think it looks better with, so maybe scrape off some of the thicker
areas.
So yeah, and again, this is like personal, wherever you feel like you want to reveal what's underneath, and you don't have to do it all. It's not a have to.
Yeah, there is something interesting about the milkiness of it.
I know, it's beautiful. Maybe just go, maybe reveal a couple of the flowers, like where.
So not necessarily try to make the whole thing flat.
Don't necessarily try to do anything. Just go with your gut. It's art. It's like, it's not cookie cutter. It's, you know, reveal what you want and let the rest.
Yes, it scrapes the paper. So quickly it scrapes the paper.
When you're just pressing too hard.
Yeah.
So just lighten your pressure, lighten the pressure. Don't put so much weight on the scraper. Just stay on the surface of the wax. Don't press harder than the wax. It's just you'll get used to it. It's just a sensitivity thing, because part of you probably is excited and you're putting a lot of weight on your hand and pressing hard.
Yeah, and it's also the wax is warm.
Right, the wax is warm, it's very fragile, and the surface, right, it's not that thick. Also, the encaustic wax is not as stiff as the paint. The paint, because it has, the paint is stiffer, I think.
Oh, I see. I mean, when I paint with
yeah, that. The paint is stiffer. It's more solid, I think, sticky than just the wax.
Okay, let me show you what I have.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Did I make it worse?
No, but you know what? Okay, so
should I get rid of this one?
You can get rid of that one. And remember, after you scrape, if you have little flyaways of wax that you don't like, little stragglers, you can always just hit them with the heat gun to dissolve them. You don't have to keep scraping. Right. Scraping isn't your only tool, right? So you have other opportunities and other tools besides scraping. You always still have the heat gun, and then you also have wood tools, right? So there's other possibilities. Don't rely only on one tool. Keep switching your tools, right?
Pardon me?
Keep switching your tools. Okay. Because I think if you just use one.
Yeah, this. I really like it a lot.
I love it. So listen, you don't have to follow a formula, for every piece. Maybe you just want to add a little bit of color to this and a little bit of pigment stick and you're done. There's no have to rules about painting with encaustic. You have to listen to your heart And if you're liking the way it looks, leave it. I mean, Elizabeth never painted her. She only put wax on her photos. And maybe sometimes like a little bit of a stencil, you know, with paint, never, everybody's different, you know?
I guess if you love the art, then you, yeah, I guess, yes, this, but I think it could use a little more dimensional or lines.
Okay. So maybe the lines are green or they're brown.
Yeah.
Maybe are you gonna, maybe a couple of the flowers are like red and orange. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Can you, okay, so this is kind of visible, right?
Uh-huh.
But the bottoms are more visible. Maybe this should be covered.
I don't know. I kind of like that it has an opening there. I like the variation. I would leave that maybe a little bit more at the bottom.
What? Wax?
Yeah, right there. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And then this one, let it be.
Yeah, I would let it be. I like it kind of coming through. I definitely think, here, hold it up. Hold it up. Let me take a picture. Down a little bit. Wait, step back a hair. Yeah, right there. Hold on. Okay, beautiful. It's beautiful. It's kind of interesting the way it is. Go ahead and add more wax, and then I'll show you something. Just to, because it's all, we're out of time, but I want to show you something before I leave.
Ooh.
It's okay. I know it went really fast.
We were gonna do half hour more, remember?
Oh, today we were? That's fine. Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, I covered the wrong one.
It's all right.
So when I said they're nice, but there's also something unfinished about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, as I say that.
No, I think you should. I don't think, I don't like it just with the wax on it. I would add a little bit of color. Yes. Or a little bit of encaustic color and maybe a little bit of pigment stick for sure.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, should I be making it smooth?
Well, smooth implies a different meaning than texture, right?
Right.
What's this? What's this?
Maybe I actually like both.
Okay.
I like both smooth and texture. So I like, maybe it's smooth in the middle and textured on the outside.
Well, it's got kind of bumpy here.
Uh-huh.
It's bumpy here and it's bumpy here.
Yeah, so the bottom, right. So that's nice compositionally. I think that the corner down there should have more wax.
This corner here?
Yeah. How's that look?
Are you always losing things?
Yes. On the table, especially on the table.
On the table, like I had this scraper. It was right here. Now it's
It always, that scraper always falls under stuff.
Ay, unbelievable. Oh, here it is. I have put it on the hot tray.
Oh yeah, usually it's someplace close by. I know.
So I'm just gonna. So this wax that I put over it and the way I'm taking off, that by itself is a form of the art, right?
Yeah. Actually, I mean, I think the digging and revealing is part of the whole process because it's waxing and waning. It's like the ocean. It comes in and it goes out and it comes in and it goes out, right? So it's like, I don't ever think that it just goes on perfectly and just looks perfect. I always go through this sort of process of putting it on, heating it up, taking it off.
So in other words, it's not just a base to start doing colored wax on. It's part of it.
Of course it's part of it, right? And you don't always have to cover the whole, I mean, you're not going to paint on the whole surface.
Yeah.
Like I did a really, here, wait, let me show you something quick. Yeah, that looks nice. I love the way that looks. Do you like it?
I do.
I love it.
So
I would do some color. I would do some colored wax. I would either start working on the flowers or I would put some greens to suggest some leaves.
Okay.
And also maybe like a darker gray around the outside. It's because it's like, it needs some tonality. Like, so you can make a really nice light gray wax. But remember too, when you have light colors, you can always go gray, blue, brown, green. Like it doesn't have to just be white. Like off-white can be a tint of any, right? Any other color.
Okay.
So you can take white or gray and then you can put a tint of color in there, like a little accent.
Okay. Should I do that now?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want first. You can do the leaves first. I mean, I basically said to do 3 things, so you can pick whichever one.
Leaves, since you're here with me,
I
think that might be enough. So not dark, just go light.
So you can do dark. You can do dark now. Yeah, you can do dark. You can do. You can do multiple different greens.
Okay.
Remember too, I'm just a stickler on the, the green, nothing is all one color, right?
More
because the light, right? It like highlights and shadows. So it's always going to have like, light side and a dark side to everything.
So now I use a brush. Now, for this is what I also wanted to ask you.
Yes.
For this part that I paint with the color, do I still use these flat Japanese brushes or regular brush?
You can use any brush that you want as long as it's an organic bristle brush. You can use all different size brushes. You can use real paint brushes. Once they're wax brushes, you can't ever use them for paint again.
Yeah. Okay. So
they're waxed forever, but you can use, and right now, maybe you want to use a smaller brush. You might not, you want to use a big brush.
right. These are all, yeah.
You got the big brush though. If you make those 30 by 40s, look at that brush, is beautiful.
Which one?
That really big one. Yeah, the really big one. It's beautiful. You can use, so the thing is remember, like every brush has a different shape, right? So you can use a brush that's rectangle, right? Which is going to make a certain kind of line. Technically, if you're making a curved, you know, a curved leaf, you want a teardrop shaped paintbrush.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
So if you have some of those that are not going to melt, the thing about the organic bristle brushes is that they won't melt. If it's artificial, if it's a plastic brush with bristles, it could melt.
Organic bristle brush. I don't know what this is. I've had this.
Well, you can try it. You'll tell pretty quick if it's melting or not.
Okay. And I want to put some wax in there, right?
You want to put some encaustic wax in with your encaustic paint, yes.
Okay. Not easy, my dear.
Oh, what's not easy? What's not easy? It's not that bad.
It's shaking and trying to draw, but
no, but you know what? You have to be you, right? And you have to be proud of the work that you're doing. And you're not doing nothing. You're trying to do. You have to a lot of acceptance and wabi sabi. Do you know what wabi sabi is?
You told me last time.
It's the art of imperfection, right? So anybody could be perfect. I mean, that's what people strive for, but nobody can be you. And that's what you have to celebrate. It's just a mindset. It's like, you have, and it's hard. It takes a long time to actually believe the practice.
You know, like I say to myself, this is just for me, but.
Right, but even when it's just for you, we grow up with mirrors and we grow up with critics and we grow up, part of that is healthy. I mean, part is unhealthy, but part is healthy. And the part that's healthy is that you're using it to edit, right? If you just love everything, that would be, that's not realistic.
Yes.
So even just for you, you're still going to have an idealized beauty. And you're going to have a vision of what you want things to look like. You have to listen to that.
Yes.
It's not all bad information. At times it can be overly critical, but it's still not bad information.
I don't know that you could see or not.
Yeah.
But like, should I paint these brown things? I paint
I would paint the stems, yeah, like stems. Green or brown. Yeah, just do like,
even though they're showing, just paint over them.
I would. I think it'd be cool. And then if you don't, then blend them in. I think it'd be cool. I mean, you might decide that you don't want all that paint on there. And this is where you can use like the fusing and the scraping to minimize it. Sometimes I get an idea to do something and then I do it and then I decide, it's that I like it, but it's just too much. So I have to take it back a step.
Yes, that makes sense.
So it was like a good idea, but then you just have to control like how much of it actually is going to remain, right?
Yeah, so the leaves are kind of random. I don't know.
Okay, so let them be there. Don't just keep going. Keep going. Don't discriminate, you know, or critique every action.
Yes.
Keep going, right? And in a minute we'll fuse and gently scrape over the whole thing, and then you'll sort of see how that looks, right? So it's addition and subtraction. I can't tell you how many times I've actually like painted something, fused it, scraped it off, and then been like, okay, wait, I really want that back, and then repainted it.
Ah.
So it's okay to like, you know, put it on, take it off, and then change your mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this whole thing is a process, right?
Right. And it often takes more than one try to get it right.
Right.
It doesn't just come out of the box like perfect.
Right.
You kind of have to like tweak it literally by like, you just have to tweak it to get it to go correctly.
But you have to start it somewhere.
Yeah, well, that's why you sort of start with the, you know, sort of playing around with the photo underneath the wax, and then you put the wax layer on, and then, you know, you can start covering it.
What I just realized is with this, at least this particular photo, which was already nice with the wax over it.
Yeah.
I should not try to make the lines perfect.
No, but listen, if you paint them perfect because that's your instinct, that's fine. So you hit them with the heat gun and then use the scraping tool to make them imperfect. Because sometimes painting something imperfect, it sounds weird, but it's actually really, really hard. So why not use your other techniques to sort of build it up and then break it down?
Okay.
So I would just go ahead and paint it because you're a painter. I mean, you know how to paint flowers. So go ahead and paint your little heart out, and then use your heat gun and your scraper tool to make it a little bit softer.
That's a good advice for me.
Maybe, are you adding a little color? Or are you still working on the green?
No, I'm adding other colors.
Okay.
Yeah, use a little black. I don't know, I probably messed it up.
No, absolutely not. There's no way. It's not possible. Not possible. No such thing.
You're very generous.
Well, that's the nature of the work too. You have to be, I mean, and you sort of have to evoke that energy, you know, to be encouraging. It's like, it's work, you know, it's like, you have to be sort of generous, you know, to get the juices flowing.
So I'll do the heat. I mean,
let's see where you're at.
A different thing now. Yeah. I just have a bunch of these things.
Yeah. Did you, oh, I like how you added a little, did you add a little paint to the flowers?
I added some rose, some brown.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Okay. So yeah. Did you add, what about the bottom right corner?
Here.
The little flower there. Yeah, did you do that
one?
No, the other one.
This
That one. Yeah, did you do that one?
No, I did not.
Do that one and then let's fuse it and scrape it a little bit. So you think you like that scraper tool better than the razor blade?
Yes.
Good.
I do.
Good. Well, you're familiar with it, right? So that's helpful.
I mean, it's been years, but yeah. Okay. So maybe should some of this color also appear somewhere else?
Yeah, upper left.
Here, right?
Yep, yep. Maybe behind that other flower popping out.
Ay, ay, ay.
And remember too, it's good to switch, change directions. So when you've been working in a certain way for a little while, give yourself a break and do something else, right? So something else.
This is going to turn out okay, but at this point, I can't imagine. But I have hopes.
No, I think it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. All right, don't overfuse it.
Okay.
Okay, and then let's see.
So I'm having trouble with these random lines coming down.
Well, yeah, now we're going to scrape them. So get your scraper.
This one that scrapes a lot.
And I would scrape against the grain. So that's
the other way.
Yeah, I would scrape sideways. I wouldn't scrape up and down. And just gently start to lift them, just blend them and don't scratch it. Right, just gently start to lift them. So you're just like breaking down the line, right?
Right.
How's that looking?
It's better, but
Okay.
Tell me what you think I should.
Okay, more, right, more. Take more off and take more off. Let me see. Yeah, so Yeah, that one.
That's part of the photo though.
Okay, then leave it. So you know what you can do to soften them? Take the wax medium and do another layer of wax medium. And I would do them, I would follow the stems. I would do the wax medium like their stems, right on top of them. Because it just is going to soften them.
Yeah.
Right on top, just in the same direction that the stems are going, as if you're drawing the stems. Yep. There you go. Yeah, exactly.
So rather than, I'm now telling you about my thoughts, rather than saying to myself, you made a mistake by doing it, now you're saying, no, I'm going to soften that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's, and like the criticism doesn't it doesn't help. It doesn't help you problem solve and doesn't help you think of the solution. You did what you did. Now you just need to move on and do what's next.
Keep going.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it doesn't help to no, and it wasn't a mistake. It was an intuitive decision. It was just a decision. It wasn't an absolute.
The paint is still there. I wonder if like I can add like a flower or something here.
Well, there's a bunch of things you can do to it. I mean, you can actually, if you want it to be milky white, melt some white encaustic or light gray encaustic and brush it right over. That is going to go away. If you really want it to go away, stop messing around with the encaustic wax. Use the encaustic paint in a light white color and go right over it where you don't want it anymore. I wouldn't add any more flowers to it because I kind of like the composition of the image. I wouldn't add more flowers to it. You know what I'm saying? So if you want, if it's white that you want or light gray that you want or just empty space, just actually just melt it and paint it right over and that's what you will have. It's kind of neat with this whole process. It's like there's always more than one way to get where you're going.
Right.
Right. So, and sometimes it takes a little bit of a couple techniques to make it just perfect. So it's like I said, like kind of tweaking it. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. There's no clear cut science.
Right. So I'm just wondering, since you and I both liked the first layer of wax.
Wow, I really like that though. That's pretty. Yeah. No, you have to paint it a little bit. It looks so much better now than it did just with the wax on it.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, it looks so much better. Does. Yeah, it does. It looks beautiful. I mean, okay, so technically I would maybe add like I said, remember when I said I wanted you to add like gray, a mid-tone to the right side. Yeah, coming in off the side.
On both
you could, no, just the one side.
My right side.
Yeah. So like add a black to it or add a dark gray, graphite gray or dark brown. You can go, and again, you can go brown, blue, purple, gray, dark green. I mean, you can do any color.
So now I should get a bigger brush. Well, here's a bigger brush.
Yeah, like a medium-sized brush would be good. And then put a little bit of that somewhere else. So where else do you see darkness? Maybe a little bit even in the middle on those stems, like just so that white isn't so bright. Maybe just a little.
Yeah, there's a little here.
It's fun to put a dark color over top of light colors. It's really fun because you can really see the brush strokes. I love the way that looks. Yeah.
It's kind of like doesn't make sense.
No, it's good. It does. It's good. It does. It has to, something has to go back, and that's the darker side. It doesn't, the wax doesn't always make sense. It's the pigment sticks that make it make sense. You're never going to get full sense out of the wax layer ever, 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 ever. It's never, the wax layers have never made sense to me. So It's only when I add the pigment sticks that it all comes together. And it's good. So I would just fuse it and scrape it. I think that's a perfect place to stop now. And then you can do the base coat on the bride and the other ones, and then we'll meet again in a week.
Okay.
Do you like Monday? Wait, you can do Monday. You can do Monday, Wednesday, Thursday in the afternoon. I don't really care. Well, Wednesday's harder, but Monday or Thursday.
Wednesday is better, you said, for you?
No, Monday or Thursday.
Monday or Thursday.
This Thursday I have a videographer coming over, but I could do next Monday or Thursday.
Yeah, I can't do next Monday, but I can do next Thursday.
That's the 17th, I think.
Is it? Yeah, I think I can do next Thursday. Yes.
Yeah, that's the 17th. Yep. So, okay, yeah, that's Valentine's Day is Monday. I could do the 16th or the 17th.
Yeah, I can't do that. Unless something changes, I can let you know.
No, that's fine.